In Ohio rules, they say that the bell has to ring to start the 5th round. We'll see which way the commission goes, because according to what we've been told, we're using the unified rules. We've seen stranger things.
Everywhere. Boxing has different rules everywhere. That's what Senator McCain is trying to do, to get some legitimacy to the game where you have the same rules everywhere. That's what we need.
Push up, push up.
Manuel Sepeda did a nice job in there blocking the shots. Bones not looking like himself before. Not looking like himself.
Good job, good job.
He's having a tough night tonight. Hitting low, getting banging heads. Bones at him, trying to find him. Trying to just get through this round, it looks like. So we can get back to the corner. Both fighters not being as aggressive right now. Both seem to be concerned about their cuts. Bones landing a nice shot there. Blood pouring on Bones at him.
You know, the blood's pouring down, Scott, but I'm not sure how much it's affecting his vision. I mean, it's gruesome, and it's raining down the left side of his face. But being so high on the forehead, I think the majority of it is coming down the side of the face rather than going into the cavity of that eye.
It's surely not getting in the eye.
Right there, Manuel, working. Manuel, working, baby.
Manny's cut seems to be controlled pretty well, Sepeda.
Stop. Step back.
Tuesday Night Fights presented by Miller Lite from Niles, Ohio. Joe Tessitore and Scott Ledoux with you. Glad to be joined by the former lightweight champion of the world, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Hey, we're in your backyard, Ray.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Good, wonderful crowd tonight. A lot of excited people and some good action tonight.
Obviously, you're an all-time fan favorite here in the northeastern Ohio, but young kid we saw earlier, I'd love to get your opinion on. That's Kelly Pavlik.
Well, Kelly, I've known Kelly since he was 10 years old. Jack, his trainer, Jack Lowe, me went to school together. We grew up together. And I saw this kid from 10 years old on up. This kid's the real deal. He can fight. He can punch. The problem is he fights tough guys, and he's whacking them out early, and people say, oh, he's not fighting nobody. No, this kid can punch. He reminds me a lot of Tommy Hearns. Tall, broad shoulders. He's going to grow to 2 or 3 more weight classes. The kid's whacking people out because he can legitimately fight. He's cute in there. He's slick. So now this kid, you got to keep an eye out. He'll be a world champion someday.
He can't fight. The doctor said he can't fight. Well, but the doctor, he can't, so that's what it is. Right there.
All right. Well, you heard it right there.
He can't fight, my guy can, right?
What's the difference? It's an accidental butt.
Okay, it's an accidental butt.
Right.
Okay,
Referee Bernie Profato.
All right. The doctor said he can't see.
But he didn't.
They finished 4 rounds. So according to the unified rules, which they are using for this main event, we will go to the scorecards. Ray Boom Boom Mancini joining us. Ray, was a devastating clash of heads there in that 3rd round.
Well, you know, unfortunately, even though Bones, look at that stuff. That's hard to watch. But even though Bones had, was bleeding more, and Scott, you know, we talk about it's dripping out. Look at it; it's a wide cut. As you said earlier, Joe, it doesn't impair his vision. I think Sepeda had the worst cut. It's on the side of the eye. So, but they're stopping it because of Bones, and I mean, that's unfortunate. The kid wants to fight. I like to see him. I like to see it go on because I think he's got a good cut man in Miguel Diaz. And Miguel can stop the flow of blood.
Yeah, they both wanted to continue to fight. There's no question. Sepeda surely wanted to continue. He had a bad cut over his eye, but they seemed to get that stopped real quick.
Well, Scott, I was going to say, you remember the days when you were fighting, even in the early 80s, they let the fight go on a little bit more, especially if it's competitive as this fight was.
Very competitive fight. Let them go a couple more rounds, find out what they got left.
Exactly.
And give that cut man a couple more rounds, the chance to stop that bleeding.
Exactly. My only problem is that a lot of these guys now are starting to get panicky because of over the last couple of situations over the last couple of years. They get panicky and they stop to fight too soon. Give the guy a chance. They've trained for it.
Especially in a cut situation.
Yes, when it's high on the forehead.
Yep, high on the forehead like that. Give him a chance to stop it.
You won all the cars.
All right, let's take a look at Scott Ledoux's scorecard and where things stood, because, Scott, you were very impressed early on with the work that Sepeda was doing in controlling the tempo of this fight. You have it 39-38, so you have it a technical decision upset if it holds to your scorecard.
Yeah, because I thought Sepeda controlled the tempo of the fight. He was using his jab. He was landing more punches and just doing the right thing in there and controlling that tempo.
All right, so you see where Scott Ledoux's scorecard is. Ronnie Duncan is standing by with the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Bernie Papato stops this fight at the end of 4 rounds on the advice of the doctor, therefore taking this fight to the scorecards. The scores are as follows. Phil Rogers scores this fight 38-38, a draw. John Kickner scores this fight 39-37, Bones Adams. And Harry Arroyo scores this fight 38-38. Therefore, we have a majority decision draw. This fight is a majority decision draw. Give both of these fighters a round of applause.
Well, the local crowd in a minor league baseball stadium getting a major league taste of boxing here. They're not pleased. They wanted to see more of the former world champion. But you know what? I can live with those scores. A technical decision, majority draw. A good showing in the early rounds for Manny Sepeda, but clearly not what Bones Adams was looking for at this stage of the game. He came here to show that he is back, that he is getting back on the winning track, and that he's ready to cash in again at that top tier of the featherweight division.
I had the breakfast with Bones today. We were talking. He said, Ray, look, I've had a lot of fights. I'm going on the twilight of my career. I'm looking for one major shot. This obviously didn't help him. This is not going to give him the opportunity to get right in. He said, I'm looking for one more score and a chance to win another title. But, you know, you can't keep fighting, you know, these type of fights because this is what happens.
And I thought Sepeda controlled that first 2 rounds and had the tempo and everything going for him and landing the more shots. I don't know what the CompuTop box said, but I thought that he really outscored him.
Well, CompuBox favors your argument, Scott Ledoux. 47 out of 128 for Manny Sepeda. That's 37%. He landed more than Bones Adams. 44 out of 162 for Bones Adams. You talked about the work that Sepeda was able to do with the jab. He out-jabbed Bones Adams 33-14. Let me ask both of you this. How far away from what you've seen tonight is Bones Adams from getting back to where he needs to be? Obviously, he needs to have another stay-busy fight before he gets back into the mix that he's talking about.
Yeah, but 4 rounds don't tell you anything. This was a tough kid he was in with. They were cute. They were both slick, working each other. 4 rounds told me nothing. I think, you know, give him the round. Let the fight go on. Let's see what happens.
I didn't see the Bones Adams of the past. I saw a guy feeling his way through the first few rounds, and maybe he was going to step it up later on, but we didn't see him step it up.
Guys, it's so interesting to have the two of you here with us when we have a situation here like this, because you guys were there in the old school glory days of the late 70s. Ray, you took your career a little deeper than Scott did into the 80s, but you touched upon it, and we saw it a couple weeks ago with Vitaly Klitschko. I can assume in that fight also, just listening to you here with us tonight, that you would have liked to see Klitschko get more rounds of action.
I would have, but I tell you, that fight needed to be stopped. Okay. I mean, when the cut man's whole hand is going inside his eye, that was bad.
So you do draw the line.
No, absolutely. That was a lot of cut. And I thought he was winning the fight. I thought he was slapping Lennox Lewis around. It's unfortunate that he didn't get the chance to finish, but that's part of the game.
I thought he was doing okay with the cut until the wristwatch went out of sight. That's what I said. They got to stop the fight. But it was a great fight.
Yeah, it was.
And really exciting for the short time it was on. The one thing I questioned about that fight, did Lennox Lewis get old on us that night?
I'm not a big Lennox Lewis fan. I think he's got a big punch, but that's about it. I don't think much of it's shit, and I question his heart. I think that's been proven. You know, when he gets hit and goes down, as they say, he goes down in sections. You know, and so I think if Klitschko was slapping him around, and I think eventually Klitschko would have caught him. We're hitting him too many clean shots.
Yep.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini, thanks for visiting with us.
Thank you very much.
Glad to be back here in your hometown.
I hope you guys come back to my home. Thank you,
So
Scott.
Bones Adams, a bad cut, stops the action here after 4 rounds. A technical draw against Sepeda. And 2 Tuesday night fight presented by Miller Lite. Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time. And in part by Everlast, the choice of champions since 1910. And Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Things to do in Niles, Ohio. You can go to the Elm Road Drive-In, or tonight you can come to Cafaro Field, usually home to the Mahoning Valley Scrappers of single-A baseball tonight.